Hey, hey, hey. Hello, 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 and welcome to this edition of Office Hours with Lanora. Office Hours with Lanora is a series that I created to help anyone seeking information about becoming licensed as a real estate professional. I want to get you that information. For those of you that have already started a pre-licensing course, my goal is to help you pass that course as well as the licensing exam on a first attempt. And for anyone that has already earned that license, ultimately, I want to help you stay in the business. So on this episode of Office Hours with Lanora, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of becoming a real estate professional. So it really means anybody that's working in the industry, whether you're a residential leasing agent, whether you're a broker, whether you're a managing broker, just in the industry, what that looks like. But first and foremost, did y'all check the shirt out? It is true, tacos can be considered compensation. So remember that. I like tacos. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the subject at hand. So I want to start with what are the pros of becoming a real estate professional. I'm gonna put my glasses on here. One of them is, in essence, you're a business owner. So if you've never owned a business, if you've had some type of net or the bug bit you that say you have this entrepreneurial spirit and you want to get into a small business of sort, look into a real estate career, because in essence, you're the business. You're the marketing vehicle. You are the worker. You are the manager of yourself, your time, and so on and so forth. So being a small business, and this is one of those businesses that as an independent contractor, you can enter with very little money down. You're not incurring the cost of overhead and supplies and materials, and even in some cases, other employees. So starting in the business, one of the pros to starting a career in real estate is because it helps you to become a small business owner. Another pro is you have the flexibility to choose your own schedule. You're an independent contractor, so no one can really tell you when, what time, when to show up, what time to show up, where to be, so on and so forth. You get to determine or dictate how you want to operate that new small business that you've started. So your time is flexible. If you choose to only work Monday through Friday during the day, no weekends, you only work one weekend out of the month, so on and so forth, that is up to you. Another pro is that you have an unlimited income potential. Unlimited income potential. So most of us, I know I did, you start out with zero. You've made no money because you haven't closed anything. So the ultimate goal is to make as much as you want. That means that you're going to have to work for that. So you're not an employee of a company when you are a broker. You're not technically an employee of a company when you are, if you have a managing broker's license, but you're not managing other licensees. If you are a managing broker of a company, then that's different. But brokers typically, when I'm speaking to you one-on-one, you're not employees of a company. So with that said, you get to earn however much. You don't have a base salary. You don't have every 2 weeks I'm going to get paid this amount. Once a month I'm going to get paid that amount. Leasing, residential leasing agents, you can and are an employee of a company. So that means that you can have a commission base. You can have a salary. You can have set hours, times, and days of the week, so on and so forth. The final benefit that I want to list on this live, but not, of course, for the industry, is you get to help make dreams come true for individuals, families, so on and so forth, for your clients. There are a ton of folks that want to ultimately enter the real estate industry and don't know how to do it. So by you having the expertise and the knowledge base to be able to do that, you get to make those dreams come true for your clients. So always remember that. One of the best feelings for me is passing those keys across that closing table to my client. Man, I can't tell you how good that feels. It is like, you can't change that feeling, and it becomes addictive. You want to keep doing that because you realize ultimately how you're impacting families and helping to change their lives too. So let's get into some of the cons. I want to call them drawbacks. Some of the drawbacks of becoming a real estate professional. Okay, the hardest part, I think, the hardest part of being in the real estate business for a new licensee, someone who just recently earned their license, is two things. It's going to come down to finances and technology. Finances, because you haven't earned anything, you haven't closed anything, you haven't made any money. So some of us are coming into the business with a full-time job that we can pull resources and income and use that income to support our real estate business. Others of us don't have that to fall back on. We may have savings, or we may have family members and friends that are helping to foot and support our new endeavors, but you don't have this big pool of money that you can pull from. That can be a disadvantage in this business because you in a sense, you have to decide, are you working to help others to ultimately achieve the goal of ownership, of becoming a tenant of some sort, to the power that they will have through real estate? Or are you doing this for just income or a check for personal needs for yourself? Because what happens when you don't close? What do? How do you make sure that you keep the lights on at your own house? So you really need to have some savings put to the side to enter this business, because as the business owner, remember, you're the business owner, you have to find a way to keep your business operating. So that's going to mean work. That's going to mean save. So if you have a part-time or a full-time job right now, keep it until you build up your referral base, until you get a few closings up under your belt, until you find that you can survive and exist off of your real estate income only. Now, when it comes to technology, it's just that. A ton of us are not computer savvy. We're not tech savvy. We're not doing the research. We're not taking those additional classes to ensure that we have the speed necessary to keep up with technology. So if you're finding that you don't know how to turn on a computer, start practicing turning on a computer before you get in the business. If you find that, hey, I'm just not organized, or I don't know what software to use, or I'm not acclimated to or familiar with taking messages or using social media or scanning and uploading documents and things of that nature, start practicing now. Get acclimated, get used to those tools that you'll eventually be using in the business. Then that way, when you officially start and you're representing clients live, it doesn't hinder you and force you out of the business. Another drawback that I think can be considered a con of becoming a real estate professional. Success requires patience. You got to be patient. Rome wasn't built overnight. Usually closings don't happen overnight in real estate. That $1 million client won't come every day for most of us. So you do have to be patient and wait for this thing to grow and happen for you. I will always use the analogy of real estate by calling it a baby, especially when you're entering the career or this industry for the first time. This is your real estate baby. Me personally, I'm a mom of 3. I've never had a child that left my womb and started walking, started running, could drive a car. They had to build up to that. They had to get the skills developed. They had to grow. They had to be fostered and nurtured so that they could do those things. And you want to do the same thing with your real estate business. Give it time. If you find that you're rushing through things, that you're getting frustrated because you don't have the clients in place, that you're getting frustrated or mad or upset or ready to quit the business because you don't have all of the resources available to you on day one or the first week of, that's you. That's a sign that you need to practice more patience. That's something you need to work on, because every deal will not close. And what do you do when it doesn't? Take the time to be patient. Another drawback of starting a career in real estate is you will experience rejection. Now, if you wear your feelings on your sleeve, this might not be the business for you, because you're going to invest a lot of time in a ton of people who will waste your time. They will waste your time and they will go close a deal with someone else. And you would have shown them 47 homes or 38 apartments and rental units, and they decided not to choose one of the ones that you spent all the time with them showing them, and they went with someone, and after a week they closed the deal or they pinned a contract to something. So rejection will happen. Not everyone will want to work with you. Not everyone will see that your services are exactly that, a service. There's going to be some people out here that will ultimately, when they waste your time, they're not going to care anything about wasting your time, because their motive is to get what they want. So you can't take all of those emotions that you will acquire, take it with a grain of salt, get rid of it, move on, go to the next one. On to the next one is a song that I've heard a lot of times, but build up that internal system of yours that when you face rejection, look at and ask for constructive criticism or some feedback so that you can figure out ways to prevent this thing from happening to you over and over and over again. But don't take it personal if someone doesn't want to work with you. Somebody else will. Okay, let's talk about one of the other drawbacks that I would consider. You should be busy in real estate. You should be busy either at your computer or showing and, going in and out of properties with clients, or having consultations, or doing comparative market analysis, or whatever it is that you need to do. You should be busy. You should expect that as a licensee, you may have to work weekends. You may have to work holidays. You may miss a lot of time during the summer, because that's usually when a ton of folks' availability happens and they want to see properties, and you're that person. So get acclimated to being busy, because what's the downside of that? You're not busy, which also means that you may not be in the business very long. So try to find that work-life balance, the happy medium. But if you're really, really a top producer, you should be busy, because ultimately you're representing a bunch of people and you're moving more closer to closing transactions. So that will stir some busyness. This is a competitive industry. So another drawback is just that. I don't think that the industry is overly saturated. I do hear that a lot of times. People say, oh, it's too many real estate agents. It's too many real estate brokers. It's just too many people in the business. Well, if that's how you feel, then so be it. But I'm Lanora, and you're working with me, and I'm the only one like me. So when you get met with that opposition, sell yourself. Convince others on why they're choosing you and what benefits you're going to provide to them as a service to them, and to ultimately get to represent them as a client in this industry. Next, let's talk about the need to be a self-motivated person. That is a downfall for some folks. Some people need you to push the button to crank them up, to get them started. But that will not lead to success in real estate. You have to be self-motivated. No one else is going to spend the money that you earn without your permission. So you should not require somebody to remind you to get up, to remind you to go somewhere, to remind you to be somewhere, to remind you to do A, B, C, and D related to processing a transaction for your customer or your client. That is all on you. So the good word tells you that if a man don't work, he don't eat. So you have to make sure that you're working, that you're doing what it takes to be in this business, and that's all self-directed. Now, nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you having systems in place to create reminders for you to do things. But if you require someone to always tell you what to do, then that's not thinking in the mindset of a boss, of a business owner, of a manager. So you have to initiate and be the one to do things to make sure that you're ultimately forging towards the finish line. The last thing that I want to consider as a drawback to becoming, or as a pro or con to becoming a real estate professional, is that nothing about this job is easy. Nothing about it will be easy. But will it be well worth it? Absolutely. The number of families that I've been able to work with and that I still have relationships with makes this 20-year-long career that I've had in real estate well worth it. It is hard work. There are frustrating days. There are those days that you will win. And there are those days that unfortunately you're going to lose. There's some things you're going to lose. But life is, in this career as well, is going to be 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So if you know going in to expect to work, to expect to represent people that ultimately you want to help them achieve a goal, and then to have that work-life balance in place so that you could spend time with your family, maybe even groom some of your family members to follow you in a career in real estate, then this job will be well worth it. So call it a job, call it a career. I say it's my habit at this point because I love it. It is my purpose. It is the things that I know. It is my way of paying it forward and giving back and through real estate. So that's what I'm doing right here. I want to give back to you to help you find ways to stay in this business, to get in the business, to enjoy the business, and to have some longevity in the business. So those are my pros, my cons, drawbacks, tips, those sorts of things that I think are reasons why becoming a real estate professional is something you should consider. If there are any other questions that you may have, most definitely check the blurb up above and contact me so that we can get those questions answered for you. Also, you'll see up above in a few short minutes, I'll add the upcoming 2023 dates for the month of January. And I believe there's one class for February that I'll include the information about pertaining to the broker pre-licensing classes and the residential leasing agent classes. We have one more office hours with Lanora before the end of the year. So I look forward to seeing you on that very next episode. Ta-ta for now, good people. Hello, everyone. Hey, Miss Joyce. Hey, Bentley. Thank you all for joining me. Okay, bye-bye.